I think I remember back in 2016, I was introduced to one of the events, and this person is here. Charlie actually introduced me to one of the events they used to run in Milton, and that was the first time I met some of the people, some of the faces sitting in this room as well. Talking to one person, don't know anything about them. You have seen their LinkedIn profile, stuff like that, but you're still kind of like in the zone, not confident enough. So getting out and be familiarizing with the industry folks and talking to them give you more confidence and be better at it, because you get the experience they already had and you're trying to learn and grow into it. So it definitely helps.
So Leanne, you weren't, you're an expert now at attending these type of events, but when you joined the YLG, you really weren't out and about that much prior to joining the group. So maybe just talk about how that helped you get through those initial industry events.
That's correct. I joined the YLG when I started coming to events, and any event that I've been at, there is YLG on it, or attending. And this is a scary room to walk into. I'm sure all of you can remember your first time coming to an event and you feel like you're over your head, and you feel like you don't know anybody. It's uncomfortable. And being able to walk in the room and see familiar faces that you've connected with, and then once you're here for a little bit, it turns into like solid friendships, and then we get excited to come instead of being nervous. It changes things to where you're excited to come and see your friends again. Just like how everybody felt getting back together for this event.
For sure. What I think, so there, us three are here as YLG members. I think there's, put your hand up, Kelly.
Right.
You're a YLG
Jessica.
member. George is here.
George.
Jessica. So there's about 7 or 8 of us here today, so that's great. So what's being part of this YLG group done, not only for you, but for the corporate brand that you represent as part of YLG, because you've shifted positions a number of times since being part of the group. So how's that helped the companies that you're with, brand?
I think the growth in the career, I've seen it from the very beginning when I was part of the YLG, but connecting with the people, getting exposed to the number of audiences at different events, kind of made me open up to the opportunities. It helped me to land somewhere that I wanted to be, and yes, that gives a lot of exposure for your career and adding things on your resume.
Leanne, what's been the biggest benefit to you, either personally or professionally, with being part of YLG?
I mean, it feels like it's a smaller scale of our bigger things that we want to conquer in our career. So I was on the YLG board first, now I'm on the PMTC board. So I got comfortable in that smaller setting with close friends, and then now I can easily expand into bigger things. I get the experience, and I find that the speaking engagement has been a huge bonus. And if you want to get your company brand out there, get someone in the YLG and start pushing them to these events, and they'll be called on.
So you mentioned being part of the PMTC board now, but starting with the YLG board. One of the benefits of membership for the YLG is our members get to attend the regular PMTC board meetings. So did that help lead you into making the decision to apply to be part of the regular PMTC board?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I attended the many PMTC board meetings before I was board member, and there's very many people there, but again, familiar faces, like we were always there, but I think you also came as well. Marcus Mayers, who was on it, so there's lots of YLG involvement there too that I'm comfortable.
So you attended some of those board meetings as well. How's being able to interact with some of the senior members of our industry? How does that help you along with your career?
I definitely helped, like I started YLG in 2016 when somebody told me about this group, and I immediately jumped on with the opportunity to become a member, because PMT regular membership, if you're coming from here, is much expensive than compared to the YLG member. It's only $125. So anybody can do it, and that's how I started. I got invited into the YLG membership. I got onto the board and then involved PMTC on a regular basis. So I started attending the meeting. I just had one meeting with the regular board, and then I actually was a board member on the PMTC side. So that definitely helps too, because you're getting a comfort level with those individuals already in the past, and you're just continuing with that now.
So one of the things we do as a YLG is on an annual basis, we provide a scholarship bursary for the CITT Logistics Professional Program. Leanne, you've won that scholarship and completed the full program. Talk a bit about that program and the opportunity to participate in it through the YLG.
Yeah, so I mean, continuing education is something that you want to provide for everyone in your organization, but it is expensive. So I won the bursary twice, actually completed 4 courses at CITT, and it created kind of this snowball effect. So I did the first 2 and ended up winning an academic award, so that gives even more exposure. And now I've got the next 2 done, and I'm more than halfway on my way to my CCLP designation, and it's would have cost me around $4,000 to get all of this done, and the PMTC YLG paid for all of it. So, yeah.
You're also a winner of that bursary in the programs now. Have you relied on Leanne, knowing that she's gone through the program to help you out with it?
Oh yeah, big time. So as soon as I got it, the first person to talk to was Leanne, because she already was experienced on that program. And then there's also a comfort zone talking to the person I already know from the industry, and then that's how we met, like at the different events. And when she got the award already there, I won that award in, I think, 2019. So yeah, so that was the time I reached out to Leanne, like, Leanne, I gotta fill this out, I gotta fill this exam, and then help me out. She was ready there and helped me out with, I already completed 1 exam, so I'm on to my second one, which is going to start in January. And I got some credits already with CCLP, so just 2 more done, and I'll be ready to write my designation presenting.
What's getting that designation mean to you?
Yeah, it's just not a transportation and the trucking side, but CCLP gives you the information on whole supply chain from marine, air, everything, and how the businesses actually work on these different sectors. It actually creates a vast amount of knowledge that you can get from that program. You go anywhere in the industry, you should be able to kind of relate yourself and be able to work with that company.
I just want to add a little bit to that. When I signed up for these courses, I thought, well, I've grown up in trucking, I've got a ton of experience, I've worked in a bunch of different roles. It's a lot of valuable knowledge in it. It basically taught me everything that I didn't realize I didn't know about trucking. So it's not just going through the motions, like we are getting a really strong education from this that's advancing our careers. And just as Simon has called me up about courses and how to get through the exams and things like that, I relied heavily on the previous winner, which was Matt Carr, and is now my boss. So that was a connection that I had made through that and built a friendship of talking to each other through that, and now I have a new job. So it was this huge snowball effect for me, really, in a good way.
Just following up on the connections that you're talking about, because I know you regularly rely on the network that's in the YLG for certain scenarios or questions you may have. So just expand on how often you reach out to individuals in certain areas.
Like, you could be specifically referring to the times that I call you on like good days, or the times that I call you on like bad days. Like, we heavily rely on each other. I know even Sud and I in our previous roles, when there'd be a regulatory change, we call each other and say, how are you sorting through this? Like, how are you managing this? And with the YLG, it's not just being safety or ops. We've got tech people, we've got lawyers, we've got like a wide variety, and we've got kind of everything that you need in the industry bundled up into the YLG. And some things you might not be comfortable discussing, get the intimidation of having less experience than other people in a room. You can ask a YLG member and not feel like you're lacking any knowledge or showing your lack of experience, it usually ends up with, yeah, I was wondering about that too, let's see if we can figure it out. And also having all those great resources there, like if I want to learn something more about tech, I know who to call. And yeah, heavily relied, and even people that have graduated out of the YLG, still like tight, forever friendships, and we support each other in our careers, and I think that's a big.
So you still talk to Victor even though he's old now and we only got a couple minutes left, but if you both maybe want to, and so we'll start with you. Why should companies be promoting joining the YLG to their young aspiring leaders?
I think the educational content is the most important factor, I would say, because sometimes we are so tied up with our regular work, we're not exposing ourselves to a new thing. So these groups give the opportunity to get out, get engaged, and learn from people who have already done that in the past, or may give you some different insight or feedback on how you can actually do your thing in your role.
Dan? Why should companies promote joining the YLG to their young and aspiring leaders?
Okay, so that's easy. So when you're entering the industry and it's intimidating and you have a lot to learn, that's when people get spooked and run. It really, really increases retention into the young people that enter, the ones that get engaged and are like, okay, I want to do this. It elevates them to the next level instead of the opposite, we're becoming too intimidating and churning and running on us. We want to get people in, we want them to feel secure and supported and give them opportunities for education. And when we have our little educational seminars too, those are really, really cost effective and really good content. And we get some really good speakers too, because they're so happy to come out and share their knowledge with the next up and comers.
That's all. We have 2 minutes if there's any questions. If not, we'll move on to Scott. Okay, one more thing before Scott. Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.